one is calling it a jalopy just yet, but virtually every day, fledgling U.S. Air Force fighter and bomber pilots take to the sky for advanced pilot training in a jet that isn't so advanced anymore. The last Northrop T-38 Talon was built in 1972, when astronauts were still visiting the moon and the McDonnell F-4 Phantom was still the Air Force's air superiority fighter. The Air Force retired its Phantoms 21 years ago. The Talon, meanwhile, keeps flying. Think about flying a plane 3 to 4 times a day, and putting an average of 4 landings on it each time, says Colonel David Drichta, who heads the Undergraduate Flying Training Division of the U.S. Air Force's Air Education and Training Command, AETC. If this were a driving school, we would have bought a new training car a long time ago, even if the airplanes weren't worn out. The T-38 is simply obsolete. It cannot, for example, replicate the high angle of attack tactics of the modern fighters that many of Drichta's students will eventually fly. Pilots in training can't hone their air-to-air refueling skills because the Talon lacks the hardware. They can't practice much nighttime or beyond visual range fighting because the T-38's antiquated circuitry was designed before most fighters were capable of such things. In early 2018, the Air Force intends to address those training deficiencies. It will award a contract worth up to $16 billion to replace its 431 remaining T-38s with 350 brand new trainers, dubbed TX until a formal designation is chosen. If the plan holds, the first of the new 2-seat jets will join the Air Force by late 2023, along with state-of-art ground simulators. 4, perhaps 5, teams have submitted bids to build the TX, and the two front-runners are dominant players in the global military aircraft industry: Boeing, in partnership with Saab AG of Sweden, and Lockheed Martin, teamed with Korean Aerospace Industries. Some observers believe that Italian company Leonardo, via its U.S. subsidiary, Leonardo DRS, has an outside chance of winning the Air Force contract. The two other entities in contention, upstarts Stevati Aerospace and small contractor Sierra Nevada Corporation, with Turkish Aerospace Industries, are considered extreme long shots, though cited by the Congressional Research Service as a potential candidate. Sierra Nevada has not publicly confirmed or denied entering the competition. While a $16 billion order would be a plum achievement for any of the companies, neither Boeing nor Lockheed is depending on it, says Todd Harrison, a military budget analyst at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, D.C. For smaller competitors Sierra Nevada and Stevati, the TX award would be a huge win, Harrison says. Surprisingly, one aerospace giant not vying to replace the T-38 is the one that built it, Northrop Grumman. The company initially announced that it would partner with United Kingdom-based BAE to offer an updated version of BAE's Hawk T2, itself an updated version of the 1970s-era trainer. A Hawk variant is the U.S. Navy's advanced trainer, the T-45 Goshawk, but that plan was jettisoned in favor of a clean sheet design specifically for the TX contest. In August 2016, a visitor to California's Mojave Air and Spaceport, home to Northrop subsidiary Scaled Composites, posted online a picture of a sleek, unidentified new airplane. It was Northrop's prototype TX, which had been quietly designed, built, and, just days after the photo was taken, flown. Abruptly, after investing the considerable money that a flying prototype requires, Northrop bowed out of contention. The company released a terse statement that pursuing the project further was not in the best interest of the companies and their shareholders, and the prototype has not been seen since. Northrop declined comment for this article. Aviation analyst Richard Abulafia sees the TX competition being decided in an old-fashioned fight to be the lowest bidder. In that regard, he says, Lockheed Martin and Leonardo may hold an advantage in that their entries are variants of existing airplanes, the Korean-built T-50 Golden Eagle and Italian-built M346, respectively. Boeing and Saab, on the other hand, have come up with a completely new airplane design that Abulafia says will require baking an estimated $1 million to $3 billion in development costs into its price.